Whether you're in a tiny house, or you're van dwelling, or camping, or even just at home, you get cold. It's freezing out here. Either way, you're gonna get cold. I'm freezing in here. We're gonna go through all the different tips and tricks that you can stay warm when it's this cold outside. Oh God. Oh, this was a mistake. Oh. Whoa. All right, let's get inside where it's warm. First thing a lot of people recommend is the Little Buddy heater. That's a propane or butane, I'm pretty sure it's propane, gas little heater. That's a great heater, but it'll eat through your propane. You can't leave it on all night. That's not going to be an option because it'll just eat up all your gas. In fact, I remember talking to a couple at this year's RTR that they're like, our heater isn't working. It just takes so much gas. I think it's broken, but they had left it on all night. You really only got a few hours, if you're lucky, of like intense heat with it. You have to use it sparingly. In a similar way to how your house air conditioner works, you just turn it on for a bit, let it hit that temperature, then turn it back off, and then you just keep turning it back on when it drops down too cold. Now, everybody knows about that, but I'm going to go through and give you a bunch of tips that I think are better, cheaper, and will keep you more warm. Here's a tip that we all love. Get a nice blazer. Get a nice warm jacket. I also have one for nighttime. I have a hoodie as well. It's not as stylish, and, they don't call me Blazer for no reason. But I definitely think it's good to have a sleeping hoodie if it gets really cold sometimes. I remember one time I was camping in, where was I? I was like in the middle of the mountains somewhere in the desert, and I woke up in the morning, and the water bottle I kept next to my bedside, my little nightside table, was frozen solid. Not just like icy, frozen solid, which is absolutely crazy. I can't believe I survived that night. That was ridiculous. And I was like, I'm gonna go do something else. And I wish I had some of these tips. Another item that you might want to have is a really good blanket. Obviously, this is like a no duh, but what's special about this blanket is the material that it's made out of. I'm gonna put a link in the description to one that's similar. I don't exactly know what type of material it is. I cut the tag off, but I'll tell you what, this is the warmest and softest blanket. It's so warm that I can't use it in any time but winter because it just traps your heat so much. And another thing that's good about this IKEA foam mattress is that it stays really insulated. So that's another way to keep yourself warm. Also, in the blanket department, we've got what looks like a normal blanket, but it's got the added feature of being electric. This is fantastic. This is an electric blanket. I had no idea these even existed until a few years ago. But this is so great. It's got 3 different heat settings. We're on the medium right now. Basically, what it is a small thin wire that's conductive to heat wired through the blanket. So it has a little weird texture, but overall, super soft. I think it's made out of the same material that the other blanket is. It's just this one gets really warm. They don't all work with solar power generators and your inverters, but this one I found does work, and I'll link you to that one in the back. What you can see is a lot of the times, if you can even see that, the contrast isn't that good. But you'll be able to see the voltage, the amps, and everything that it requires. It's very important that you get one that will work with your solar inverter. My setup is in the description, so you can see how it works for me, and the equivalent of this one is as well. I think this was like 20 bucks. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth the money. This is similar to the same way I said do the heater before. Do it in bursts. You don't want to fall asleep with the blanket on. It's actually not good for your body because you'll get too warm and you might wake up in a heat sweats or something like that. But you turn this on right before bed, it warms up your entire bed. And like sometimes if you're just working, you just put it on your lap and it keeps your whole body warm. Your legs are like the conducive antennas of your body. Whatever the average temperature is in your legs is kind of what you'll feel in your core. I don't know if there's science behind that, but that's what I heard growing up. And I think it's mostly true. If your legs are freezing cold, you're going to be cold as well. This next one, for the longest time, I had considered it cheating. You can just start your van and run the heater. I used to consider it like, no, that's not van life. You can't do that. But shoot, the van is an integral part of the van life. You can use everything in the van, including the engine and the AC. You can also use the AC outlet to charge your stuff. I think they make AC adapter hot blankets, maybe even heaters. If there are, I'll put some in the description. But the final tip is also the most effective. All right, you ready for this? It's not a good tip because people are like, yeah, but that doesn't really answer. You can probably guess by the way I'm hesitating. It's just drive somewhere else. It's go someplace else, because you're never going to be able to beat Mother Nature. Unfortunately, that's how it is. Right now, it's snowing outside, as we saw, and it's going to be freezing in your van regardless, and in your tiny house. Hopefully your tiny house is on wheels, and you could go south for the winter. You can be a snowbird. But I think that's one of the best benefits of doing the van life, is being able to traverse and move around. I really don't think it's cheating to do that. I think that's probably your best bet to avoid the cold. Well, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you have any specific ways that you beat the cold. I'm always interested to hear about it, because I get frozen myself and just freeze up, and it's no good. The mornings are brutal mornings when you're freezing. You just gotta make a cup of coffee or hot chocolate or something, because it's too cold. But actually, that electric blanket has done a lot to help me, so I highly recommend that. That's what made me think of the video in the first place. I'm so amazingly glad this works with my inverter and doesn't take a lot of electricity. It's really an amazing thing. You'd wake up in the morning and just turn it on real quickly, and then boom, it just brightens up your day. All right, you guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon. And by soon, I mean tomorrow, because we're still doing the 30-day challenge. It's going. Probably the last video in the series will be like a little recap of the case study, so we're going to see how that goes out. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the snowy weather. I know I am. I'm going to go make some more snow angels, so